In the previous video, we began the process of adding some of the darker blotches to the face of our monster. So in this video, we'll go ahead and refine those blotches and try to make them look a little bit more natural. Okay, so here's where we left off in the last video, starting to add some of these darker blotches to the brow and center part of the head, as well as some of the lip area. So in this video, we'll go ahead and, like I said, start to refine those areas a little bit further. Okay, so first thing I want to do is start to define some of these darker areas of the brow a little bit more. So what I want to do is, with this number 46 splatter brush still selected, I want to go ahead and make this brush a little bit smaller so I can go in and add a little bit more detailed shading in the areas that I want. Okay, so to do that, I'm going to go to Window, and let's open up that Brushes palette. Okay, or like I said a little earlier, you probably will actually be able to see a dock over here that has this Brushes tab in it if you're working in a larger resolution. Okay, so what we can do is this diameter. Let's go ahead and just take this down to a smaller number. Okay, something like 19 looks pretty good. And doing it this way through the Brushes palette, by just lowering this diameter, we go ahead and we keep all of these other attributes intact. Nothing else will change, only the size of the brush. Okay, so now that we've just lowered the diameter, we can go in now and probably even on a new layer, just to be on the safe side, we can go in and start to add a little bit more definition to some of these shaded areas. Okay, we could taper this off a little bit more. Actually, I'm going to undo that. Okay, so I'm going to use some pretty heavy pressure right in these areas to sort of add this illusion, more or less, of a raised ridge. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and make a little bit more of a ridge up the side. And like I said, I'm using a little bit heavier pressure on this outer part, like I said, just to sort of give the illusion of a raised ridge right in this area. Okay, so that looks pretty good. Now I can go in and maybe start to add a little bit more darkness to this lip area. Okay, like I said, and now that I'm using a smaller brush, I can control that a little bit more. Okay, and one thing, just sort of an artistic preference of mine, whenever I'm making some of these areas that need to blend pretty smoothly from one end to the other, I tend to use these circular motions with the pen, and that seems to make it a bit easier, at least for me it does, to make these areas that blend in a little bit better, as opposed to using either a side-to-side or an up-and-down stroke with either your mouse or your pen. I tend to use these round strokes. Okay, so let's take a look at what we've got. Let's go ahead and save this. Go back to Maya, load this up. Okay, so you can start to see how we've, started the process of maybe creating an illusion of a raised ridge, and it started to add a little bit more darkness to these lips. Okay, so with this done, we can go in and start to now add some lighter blotches to the skin. Okay, so in the next video, let's go ahead and start to add some lighter blotches in the areas that we need them.